Hi everyone, welcome to this complete guide on Voxfor Multilingual plugin. In this video, I'm going to walk you through one of the most powerful and user-friendly multilingual solution for WordPress. Voxfor Multilingual is a free, professional-grade translation plugin that transforms your website into a global platform using a DeepL API. It delivers high, accurate context over AI translation while giving you full control over every piece of content on your site. With this plugin, you can translate posts, pages, menu, image, alt text, and even WooCommerce products. It also includes SEO features like hreflang tags, multilingual sitemap of each languages, clean multilingual URL, translation memory, a visual translation editor, a customizable language switcher, and full compatibility with page builder like Elementor, Gutenberg, and more. I will show you how to install and set up multilingual translation plugin. So let's start by exploring the WAS4 multilingual dashboard. So this is the main overview screen where you can quickly check your translation activity and system status. At the top, you will see four important boxes. Total translation. They show total number of translated characters across all languages. Active languages. This tell you how many languages are currently being enabled for translation. Pending translation. Here you will see how many translation requests are waiting to be processed by DeepL. Log translation. These are the character or text segment that have been excluded from translation and won't be processed. Below, you can see a cache management section. If your translation are not showing correctly after an update and you want to fresh lookup results, you can simply click Clear Translation Cache to refresh everything. And here we have a visual chart showing translation by language. This gives you a breakdown of how many translations have been generated for each languages along with percentage bar so you can visually understand the distribution. Below that, there is a quick action. Each button will take you to the specific part of the plugin. For example, configure setting will take you to the setting of this plugin. Translation memory will take you to the translation memory part of this plugin. And so with the glossary and tools. Below that, you can see the status, which show you all the SEO features. Status are enabled in this plugin and are working fine. The last part is a translation activity. It will show you and each date how many translations has been performed and how many words had been performed by any specific dates. So that's it for the dashboard overview. Now we are going to learn about the settings and how to configure settings of this plugin. So now let's move to the settings of this plugin. Here you will be configure all the settings which you are required to make this plugin work. So at the top, you will see the API configuration. You simply need to sign up at DeepL and get your API key. You just need to sign up for your free plan and you need to copy paste the API key from your account and paste it in this field. Once the key is added, you can click on Test API to make sure that everything is working correctly. If the test is successful, the plugin will show you your usage confirmation that your key is valid. The key is encrypted and stored securely and only used for translation requested. Now, the second option is language settings. Here you can set your default language, which represent your main website. Then the enable language option, you can select which language you want your site to be translated into. Just check the box for any language you want to support and the plugin will take care the rest. Next, we have the SEO settings. This section is designed to help the search engine understand your multi-language structure of your website. So, href lang tags help Google know which language version to show. Image alt text will automatically translate all your image alt text for better SEO. URL slug enable translated URL for each languages. Sitemap tags control whether to include sitemap in your website of the post or a product. SEO protection prevent indexing your pages during translation so Google doesn't index incomplete translated pages. Next, we have language switcher settings. Here you can choose how your language switcher appear in your website. The default style is drop down. Then there is a display option like showing flag or native language names and a floating switcher which places the floating button on your website. Plus, you can choose the position of the floating switcher. This lets you customize exact how users switch language on your website. Then we have a WooCommerce integration settings. If you're running an online store, the WooCommerce integration section allow you to translate the product title, description, product categories, tags, attributes, and variation, shops like cart, checkout, and account, and even preserve the shopping cart when switching between the languages. This makes your entire WooCommerce store fully multilingual and user-friendly. After that, we have API management. At the top, you will see a API status. If this is enabled, translation will process normally. But if you ever want to temporarily pause all the translation in your website, for example, if you are nearing your user's limit, you can just simply pause it, stop all the requests of translation through DeepL API. Next, we have credit limits and monthly credit limits fields. Here you can set the maximum number of characters the plugin is allowed to translate per day or per month. If you don't want any limit, simply set the value to 0. This is extremely helpful if you are using a free DeepL plan or want to avoid extra API charges. Then we have a usage alert. When these are enabled, the plugin will notify you when your daily or monthly usage reach to 80%. This gives you enough time to pause the translation or upgrade your DeepL plan if needed. At the bottom, you will see a usage chart. This shows your current daily and monthly usage in visual bar format, included how many characters had been translated and what percentage of your limits had been used. This make it easy to monitor your API consumption. And finally, we have a performance settings section. The first option is object caching. When enabled, translations are stored in memory, making your website load faster. This is specially recommended if your server support Redis or meme cached. Next is lazy loading for image, which delay the loading of images until they are actually needed. This helps improve overall page speed, especially on page with multi-languages versions. And the last we have cache TTL. This determines how long translation should be cached in memory. Measured in seconds, you can set anything from 60 seconds up to 24 hours depending on your server settings. Once everything is configured, make sure to click on Save Changes. These settings help you fully control how translation are processed, how resources are used, and how fast your multilingual site performs. Now let's move on to the translation section of this plugin. This is where you actually start translating the content of your website, and you have three different translation options based on your need. So first we have comprehensive translation section. This feature scans your entire website including your theme strings, WooCommerce element, elemental content, menu, widgets, and more, and translate everything with a simple click. You just select the language and then click Start Comprehensive Translation. This is the fastest and easiest way to fully translate your website, but keep in mind that it will use more API credit because it possesses all elements at once. Below we have individual content translation. This gives you full control over what you want to translate. Instead of translating your website, you can choose a specific page, post, WooCommerce product, element templates, header and footer builder templates. For example, if you only want to translate the pages of your website, you select the pages, and at the bottom it will show all the pages of your website which you want to translate. Just check one of the pages and select your languages, and you can start translating that page. This option is great if you want to save API credits or any translate certain part of your website. For example, you might only want to translate your home page, your product page, or your blog article. This is perfect for targeted translation and efficient API usage. The final section is website URL localization, and this option only appear if you have enabled translate URL slug inside the SEO settings. This feature will scan all your post, page, product and automatically create a translated URL slug for each language. So instead of having the same English URL for every language, your URL become fully localized, which is great for SEO. All you have to do is click localize and all website URL will generate translated slugs. Now we are going to see a live example how the translation process is going to work. For example, I'm going to select the content type of pages. Here you can see our home page. I have already translated it. If I go to the home page and select, like for example, the Spanish version of this page, you will see our page has been translated with a Spanish version. And you can see in a URL that it is Spanish URL. But we need to see the live example. For example, let's say our About Us page is, you can see the status of this page is not translated. So I'm going to select just this page and I'm going to select the language. For example, I want to select this page only in Spanish and then click translate selected content. Click in OK. This will show you the translation progress and a percentage how much process has been complete. So it will take roughly around a minute or 50 to 30 seconds to complete translate the page. You need to wait until the page has been translated. You can see our page has been translated. Translation complete successful. And if I see the status of this page, you can see the status has been changed from not translated to partial because we have only translated this page only in one language and we have enabled two language. So I'm going to go in an about page and let's see if our page has been translated or not. So I'm going to change this page into Spanish. You can see our page has been translated into Spanish and all the content in this website is in Spanish. And if I go to the English, you can see how much fast is switching between the pages. I'm an English version and you can see the content in English. And if I go to the Spanish and the content will be in Spanish. So you can see all the languages are being automatically translated by DeepL API and you don't have to do manual translation for each content. Now, if I go back to the translation part, and if your website is an e-commerce store and you want to translate your product, you can see we have already tested this in our pages. Now we are going to see the live example for the WooCommerce products. You just simply need to click the type products and it will show all the product of your website. Just select any of them. For example, I'm going to select this blue goodie product and I'm also now going to translate it in Italian and then simply click translate selected content button and it will start translating this product. You have to wait until the product is being translated. You will see all the status here. You have to wait until you will see successful status in this process. You can see our page product has been translated. Translation complete successful. Now I'm going to check this product. Now this is the product which I have sent a request to DeepL API. I have translated this product in an Italy. So I'm going to open in the next tab just to see a comparison. You can see our product, breadcrumb, category name, and a short description, category, and a long description are all translated and all the tabs of this product has been translated into Italy. And this is the English version and this is the Italian version. Before moving to another part of this plugin, I want to show one more thing. We are going to translate the article or post of our website. So you just need to click the post type and it will show you all the posts which are present in your website here. So first I'm going to show the default articles. For example, you have written an article and you can see I have put some internal links in it. As you can see, these internal links are the pages which I have put in the website. These are the default English language internal links. So what happened if I translate the page into Spanish or in Italy? So what this plugin will do, if you switch to another language, for example, Spanish version, it will also change your internal language, this about link, to the Italian version or in Spanish version. So let's see the live example of it. For this you need to select the post type and select the article which you want to translate. So I'm going to translate this one article. After selecting, I'm going to check the Spanish and on Italy. Now I'm going to do a bold translation on this article. Now once our article has been translated, you can see the status has been changed, and let's see if our article and internal links slugs are also changed. So I'm going to change this article into Spanish. So you can see our all article has been in Spanish, and let's see if our internal links has been changed into Spanish version. So you can see this is the internal link. You can also see that I am in a Spanish version and the slug is ES for Spanish, and you can see the internal links are automatically converted to ES. And if I go to the Italian version, the page has been translated into Italy, and you can see also the internal link of this page has been automatically converted to Italy. So isn't it awesome that this plugin scan your content, detect every internal link and replace it with correct translated version based on selected language? This is extremely valuable feature because normally you would have to update each internal link manually across all your pages, posts and products, which can take hours or even days on large website. With Voxfor Multilingual, this process happens automatically, ensuring your translated page always point to the correct language version, improving both user experience and SEO. In this part of the video, we're going to see how URL localization is going to work. So there's two methods. One is automatically localize all your slug URL of all the pages, posts, products through DeepL API. You have to make sure that in a SEO setting, the URL slug is enabled. After enabling, that this option will be shown to the user. So now let's check the live example how website URL localization is going to work. I've already tell you there is two methods. One is manually and second is automatically through DeepL API key. So once I run this, it will automatically localize all our website URL slug. You can see successfully localized 35 URL slug for the complete website. Now if I go to any of my pages, let's say we are going to check the about page. If I go to click on view and let's change the language to this one, Italian. You can see my slug is an Italian slug, and if I change to the Spanish, you can see my slug is automatically translated through DeepL API. Now let's talk about the second method. Second method, if you don't like the translation to DeepL API, you can manually edit this slug. You just simply need to edit the pages, and at the bottom of edit pages, you will see two options. It depends how many languages you have enabled. It will show all the languages slug here. I can edit this. For example, I want to say this, the test, and I will say this, Italy. After changing the slug manually and page has been updated, now let's check the front end of the page. I'm going to switch between the languages here. You can see that this has been added our manually added slug test, and in an Italian version, you can see that this slug has been manually edited. So these are the two methods where you can automatically and manually translate your slug all over the website. Let's look at the two easiest way to manually edit translation inside Voxfor multilanguage. translation memory, and the visual translation editor. The translation memory section stores every single translation generated by the plugin. Here you can filter, search for any specific sentence, words, or phrase across your active language. Once you find your text you're looking, you will see two columns: original text and translation text. All you have to do is click on the translation text field, edit it, and save change. So we are going to see the live example here. For example, I want to change this translation text. I will just copy this translation text and I'm going to search for this and filter it. After that, you will see it will show me the original text of default language and the translation text which is in Spanish. So to edit it, you just need to click here and I'm going to click here and save changes. That's it. Now, if I go to the translation page of my Spanish translation, I will just refresh it and you will see that this text has been edited. So, this translation memory is very easy, very convenient. You can also filter by specific language, depend on how many active language you have enabled. After that, the second method is the visual translation editor. And this is one of the most incredibly user friendly. You can open any page, post, or WooCommerce product in sidebar. For example, I'm going to edit some translation text of the pages. I'm going to simply click on edit. And after the edit, you will see in the sidebar a section showing you available translated language. Just click on the language you want to update. For example, I'm going to update this language. Just click on this. This will open a live visual editor where you will see your page exactly as visitor would see in the translation version. Now you can simply click on any translated text on the page. A pop-up will appear, the original text, the translated text. You can edit the translation text right here. Let's say I'm going to edit this text here and I'm going to edit the same thing and I'm going to click on save. After that, you will see it will show you how many text has been in a queue to be saved. I can save multiple languages at once. I'm going to edit this one also. Let's say I will say this random text and save this. We have two translated texts in a queue to be saved. Now just simply click on save all and that's it. Successfully saved two translation. Click OK. Now if I go back to the page and see the front end of my home page in a Spanish version, you will see that these two texts has been updated. You can see that this text has been updated, testing, and this text also has been updated, April. So so we have learned two simplest way to edit the translation text. So overall, you have two extremely simple way to manually edit translated text. The translation memory, perfect for quick edit and search specific phrases, and visual translation editor, perfect for visually editing text directly on the page. Both tools make it incredibly easy to fine-tune your translation with just a few clicks. Now let's talk about one of the most useful feature in this plugin, the glossary. The glossary allow you to control how specific words or phrases are translated. This is extremely helpful when you want a certain terms to appear in very specific way in a particular language. Here how it's work. So let's say you want to translate a page into Spanish and you have a sentence like this. You will just simply copy the sentence and paste it in a term, but you want this phrase to appear simply as three words. Instead of manually editing every translation, you can add glossary rule. You just enter term, translation, select the language. For this case, we are using a Spanish word and match type exactly match and priority set to 100 and add the glossary terms. Now, if I'm going to refresh this page, you will see this phrase will be converted to our translated words. I'm going to refresh this page and here is it. You can see our translation phrase has been added. And if I delete it, simply click on this button. And if I go to the website and refresh it, then our old translated phrase will be returned in your Spanish version. You can add multiple glossary rules according to each languages, so you don't have to manually add it and go to the pages, posts, products to change the phrases. Now let's talk about exclusion rule. This feature gives you full control over which content should not be translated. It's extremely useful when you want to protect specific words, sentence, or design element from being sent to the translation API. The first exclusion method is CSS selector. Here how it works. You simply add a CSS class or ID. For example, I'm going to put this no translation rule CSS class. And once this rule is added, any text wrapped inside that class will not be translated. So if you write something like this sentence testing exclusion rule, I'm going to wrap this in a span, and with the exclusion rule class which I have put, I'm going to publish this, and I'm going to refresh the About Us page in Spanish version. So this sentence will not be translated because we have not sent any translation request. We have to send the translation request for this page again to the DeepL API. For this, you need to go to the translate part of this plugin, select the page type and about page, and I'm going to translate this page only in Spanish. So the page translation process has been complete. Now let's see if this exclusion rule is working or not. So I'm going to simply refresh this page. So our exclusion rule is working and this translated sentence is not translated. But the exclusion rule is working and our exact sentence will stay untouched in every translated version of your website. There is an important note: you must add the exclusion rule before translating your page or product. If your page is already translated, the rule won't work and you have to undo the translation of that specific page, product and retranslate them. The second method is namespace exclusion, which is even more powerful. Namespace are predefined identifier used in WordPress, WooCommerce themes, and page builders. When you add namespace to exclusion list, the plugin will escape translated any content associated with that namespace. By default, you will see the WooCommerce checkout namespace has been added and it will prevent all checkout related fields to be translated. Adding a title will prevent title from being translated of any page, post, or product. To get the ID of namespace, check out the Voxfor multi-language documentation, which provide a full list of supported namespace in documentation. So it's recommended to check the list to know exactly which area you can exclude. With these two exclusion rules methods, CSS select and namespace, you have complete control over what gets translated and what stay the same, ensuring accuracy, stability, and consistency across multi-language site. There is another powerful feature built in Voxfor multi-language plugin, the multi-language sitemap system. One of the biggest challenges with the multi-language website is keeping your sitemap clean, organized, and SEO friendly. But with this plugin, everything is handled automatically. As soon as you enable multiple languages, the plugin automatically generates a separate sitemap for each language on your website. This means Google and other search engines can easily understand all your translated page, products, posts, and categories. Even better, the plugin automatically detects whichever SEO plugin you are using, whether it's Yoast, Rank Math, or any other major SEO tools. It integrates seamlessly, so you don't have to configure anything manually. Let's say I'm using a RankMath plugin. I have enabled and configured RankMath SEO plugin. Now let's check the sitemap of RankMath. Now let's check the default sitemap of RankMath. So to check the sitemap, you need to type your domain name and /sitemap.xml. So this is the rank match sitemap structure, and here you can see we have enabled two languages, and you can clearly see how cleanly sitemap structure is generated here. You can see we have a separate sitemap for our Spanish language, and we have a separate sitemap for our Italian language. If I open one of the sitemap, let's say the Spanish sitemap, you will find out that each language has all the part of a website sitemap structure, our post, pages, products, sitemap category, product category. We are going to validate our sitemap. Is it okay or not? Well, let's say you can search any of the sitemap validation, just paste your sitemap URL. You can just simply click on check. It will check all the validation. You can see the sitemap is perfectly structured and ready to be indexed on Google or any other major search engines. We are going to see one more example. Let's say I'm not using an AdMed and you are using a different plugin. So there's a one more popular SEO plugin is called Yoast. So I'm going to active the Yoast plugin, and then we will see the sitemap structure on a Yoast plugin. After activating the Yoast SEO plugin, you can configure your Yoast according to your needs, but I'm going to skip this step because we just need to check the sitemap. Now to check the sitemap on a Yoast plugin, it's the same step. Just simply type your domain name /sitemap.xml. It will open a Yoast SEO plugin sitemap, and here you can see you have the same sitemap structure. You can just simply click on and read the data in a sitemap of each languages. All the part of the website are available on each translated languages, post, pages, product category. So our plugin is SEO optimized and each language gets its own properly structured and search engine friendly sitemap. This ensure search engine can crawl your website correctly, index all translated page in every languages and improve your overall multi-language SEO automatically with zero setup required. Now in this part we are going to cover the last three parts of this plugin, which are tools. In the tools, you will find four essential functions of this plugin. First is clear translation cache. If your website is not showing the updated translation version, you just simply clear all the pending translation cache. So this will refresh all the pending requests and will update the cache version of your website. The second is optimized database. Sometimes your database have a old trash which are not being used and displayed on your website. You can just simply click optimize database and it will delete all the old translation. If you have requested a translation and it's not been updated, you will find out that some of the requests has been pending by the DeepL API. If you want to process the request instantly, just click on process queue and it will update all the queue process through the API and update your all the translation pages. This will clear all the failed translation requests which has not been passed through DeepL API. So clear the failed items and it will remove all the trash and failed Deep API requests. After that, we will see the cost analytics. The cost analytic will show you the live data from your DeepL API. It will show you the total number of characters you have translated. Current usage will show you the total number and how much remaining characters are remaining through your DeepL API. Daily average usage on how much characters are you translating each day and an API status. And it will also show you the user history in a table which give you an idea on how much daily basis you are translating characters in your website. And the last thing is a diagnose. In a diagnose, you will see overall system health of your website and database and the system requirement need for this plugin to work. Make sure that everything is passed here. And if something is not passed here, you need to make sure that it is compatible. Like for example, PHP memory limit has to be compatible with this plugin. It is required to have this much memory and a PHP version. And that's bring us to the end of this full walkthrough of Voxfor multi-language plugin. We have covered everything from connecting your DeepL API, configuring your languages and SEO setting, creating exclusion, glossary rules, translating your content, and even fine-tuning translation with visual editor and translation memory. We have also explored automatic is internal link translation, multi-language sitemap, WooCommerce support, and all the features that make this plugin a complete multilingual solution. With this tool, you can now translate your entire website professionally, improve your global SEO, and deliver a seamless experience to visitors in every language, all with just a few clicks. If this tutorial helped you, feel free to explore more guides, check out the documentation, and start building your multilingual website today. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.